So now let's move on. Calling up our next speaker of the evening, and we are glad that he's amongst us today. Well, he's the CEO of Fosher Sensor Technology. His passion is developing and leading a market leading rail technology company by concentrating on the creative value for the customers, employees, and shareholder. Well, his experiences are he has been a director signaling company Balfour Beatty Rail from November 2002 to May 2009. Then he has been the executive managing director of IVV Germany. He has been director operations Central Europe, Bombardier, and also a business development man. So ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Michael Thiel.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Thiel, for the one who don't know me. It's a very, very great honor for me to be here and can give you some thoughts on signaling. I feel very small and very, very unimportant in such a round of history of signaling, to be honest. Even I'm a signaling engineer by heart. Actually, I'm a signaling mechanic from the very beginning with 18 years in East Rail, Germany. I learned on mechanical interlockings at that time. And now I'm here in India together with you, so this is really something very exciting for me. What can someone as I tell you what you not already know? Actually, it should be more the other way around. I should more listen to you. And thanks to your wonderful journey in the signaling history of India, I really recommend we should write a book on that. You together, maybe we found someone who takes a lead on that and collect the information from you to have really a history which we can give and tell the stories to the young engineers from today. And I also recommend to Alok for the next event which we are organizing like this, maybe in 2 years, we should invite young engineers, listen to that, and get a feel what they are part of that, because my impression is many things are lost historically. If young engineers starting in a company, a signaling company today, they are thinking about software, computer. No one of them who is writing a code for interlocking has really have been on an interlocking. He have never seen a mechanical or a relay interlocking from inside. He don't know nothing about signaling rules, which are written in a book. He's just writing code. So we should use this link between history and the new technology. What can I tell you? I would like Alok asked me to give you a little bit of view as a foreigner, as someone who comes with a European company to India, how we see the Indian Railway, Indian signaling world. And I just have to say, after almost 10 years active here in India, I feel very familiar with the Indian Railway and the way how you operate your really great transportation system. And I'm really appreciate working with the experts in all of the zonal railways. And there is a common understanding. I can tell you, culture-wise, we are living on different galaxies, but in signaling world, we are one team. We have a similar understanding. We have a similar understanding about safety rules, and this we really appreciate as foreign companies. And the main obstacles for foreigners like us coming to India and working with you has nothing to do with signaling or with technology or with understanding of safety and reliability. It's pure culture, where we have to adapt ourselves. Which I very appreciate that we are doing this and we are enjoying this very much. And because of globalization today, it's very easy to bring people here and working here for some months. It's very easy to bring our young engineer from India to Austria and working some months in Austria and sharing the ideas of working together. But the principles, how do we do signaling, how do we create safety, are really the same. I can tell you this. What are the challenges in the future where you maybe are happy or not to be active that much anymore? And I tell you, for a real signaling guy like me, it's also sometimes quite hard to understand what the future can be and bring for signaling. There are, let's say, 4 different areas which are really challenging us as a corporate, but also many operators in Europe and in Asia. First challenge is most of the major railway operations are on their limit in terms of capacity. And especially in India, you know, increasing the capacity significantly without building thousands of kilometers new lines requires technology, requires signaling. There is a pressure from that way by keeping the rules of safety and reliability, but increasing capacity is a real challenge. Second field, most importantly, is technology. Of course, we are talking about CBTC and interlocking, electronic interlocking, but are we aware that the computing power of the actual current generation of electronic interlocking has nothing to do with computing power which is available today? Actually, if you take my iPhone here, this has more computing power than 500 interlockings. Are you aware of this? What does it mean for the future? On one hand, it's good. Railway technology, especially in signaling, is quite conservative. Nothing changes quickly. It takes a long time of migration. But there are other aspects which really put a pressure on the industry, on signaling itself, to implement these technologies. Just to give you an example, many, let's put new versions or adaptations of an electronic interlocking which companies issue today, they don't do this because they're on the limit with the computing power. They just do it because the electronic elements they are using are not available anymore. They develop a new processor generation in the interlocking just because they have to, not because it's needed. So the next revolution, which we already mentioned in interlocking, will be change the world completely. And there are already operators in Europe which thinking about bringing interlocking and signaling in the cloud, bringing it somewhere centralized on a computer center. There is no need having every 20 kilometer a computer for creating safety. This is not required anymore, and it will be changed rapidly. But doing all this by keeping the understanding of what this technology is for the safety of the people which are sitting in the train, want to have a relaxed journey without any problems and accidents, being in time and having trains always available, this is the challenge. And I can tell you from our own company, the young people which are working on these high-end technology things, there is the missing link to what they are really doing and what is it for what they are doing. And we have to encourage this by events like this. The other challenging area beside technology, I think, is a little bit the globalization and the political environment. You see there are a lot of pressure from Chinese companies in the world. So long historically companies in signaling in Europe are looking for what is their strategy, where do they go to. You know, for example, the merger of Alstom and Siemens, which is discussed in Europe, which could be an answer. But the world is really changing. Very big corporations which dominating that technology market and which definitely are not interested to develop a new point machine anymore. And they are also not interested to develop a nice Excel counting anymore. They are just thinking in big systems and cloud-based and artificial intelligence. And there will be a lot of change in terms of that. And last but not least, one of the biggest challenges is to find the right people to executing that future. Bringing young, very qualified engineers in our field of signaling is increasingly a challenge as we are competing with almost all other industries. And railway has still a reputation of quite being conservative and old-fashioned, which it's not. We all know this. So this challenge, making this technical move, making this revolution happen with the right people on board, which are qualified and engaged, and founding them is really a big task for us. And I just want to encourage you, being present, being active, give your experience and knowledge to the next generation would be really helpful to bring and motivate the right young people to execute what's happened there in the future. Thank you very much for having me here. I wish you a very nice evening.